All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Three Birds and a Punt. As always, I am one of your co-hosts, Afia, and I am joined by my friend Whip. Say hey, Whip.
Hey, what up, everybody?
All right, we are excited and happy to announce once again that we have partnered with AmazeMedia Labs to be the official Eagles podcast for the Pigskin Network. You can find Three Birds and a Punt on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Three Birds and a Punt. Please download and subscribe. We are so happy and excited to be here with all our fans. We already have one fan on tonight, Connor. Salutations, Connor. Happy to hear with you tonight.
Salutations, Connor. What up, bro? Glad you're
I
here.
know, right? Got a day one fan. Happy to see him. John's running a little late tonight, but he'll be on soon, and the Three Birds will be back in action to give you all that hot, great news. Okay. I want to make sure we get off this episode 39. The show is entitled "Waiting on Roseman." And
Really?
because that the title says it all, and you by the sounds you hear from my co-host Whip, you know how he's gonna be starting. Okay, I wanna start the show by talking about our Eagles free agent signings. What have we done so far? How we're feeling about it, and what should we expect in the next round? So let me start with with Whip, who hasn't been here since last week. So I know he's been dying to get his views out to the good fans, the good people. So let me start with you, Whip.
Indeed. First and foremost, salutations to everybody tuning in. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday, evening. But let's get straight to it. The Hassan Reddick signing, awesome. I loved it. That was a nice way to, set off the new season, the up and coming season. Definitely need that type of hybrid type linebacker or edge rusher. I love it. Me personally, I wanted him to play linebacker. And also, I'm gonna give myself some credit because I was the first one on Twitter who was like, yo, Hassan Reddick gonna come to the Eagles. And if y'all don't believe me, go through my timeline, you'll see it. And you got some people that probably on here looking at me now are like, yeah, he did call it. So I called that. So I think that was an awesome pickup. I just need more. Need more. Not the player. He's awesome. He's just one piece of that more. You get what I'm saying? I need more. I see a lot of Eagle fans, on social media talking about, that's a good pickup. But guess what? I think we cool. We picked up Fletch back, this, that, and the third. Okay. But I want more. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm not complaining about it. Like I said, I love to pick up, but I need to see more from that guy.
Absolutely. And Connor is agreeing with you, all right? He's saying that, Hassan Reddick was a great pickup. And I would agree with you too, that at first, when that first hit and you were like, yes, okay, finally we're having a linebacker DN type. So maybe he's going to be addressing this position that has been long neglected by the Eagles front office. He had said something really interesting, Howie Roseman, at the combine a couple of weeks ago, that that Jim Schwartz, our old defensive coordinator, didn't value linebackers, so then he didn't put an emphasis on linebackers. But our new defensive coordinator, Gannon, does, so he will put an emphasis on linebackers. So maybe, Hassan Reddick was a sign of things to come. But I definitely think, and Sam Zeller, good evening, Sam, has already hit on what I'm going to talk about, is that we don't have any safeties in the remarket. Maybe there's a inkling that we might sign Tyrann Mathieu, whatever, but I'm not sure what's going on. To me, I just found myself very underwhelmed by our free agent signings and everything like that outside of Hassan Reddick. Like, what did we do? We brought back Boston Scott, which, okay, great, I love it, but you're not doing anything to dynamically change the roster so that we can really compete. Look at everything. Look at the landscape at the NFL. It has changed like that. The NFC is wide open, and we're still re-signing the same old players. We brought back Greg Ward. All Eagles fans of this show know how your girl Afia feels about Greg Ward. I'm tired of that ish. And then now you see the narrative being built out in the media in realm on Twitter that, oh, don't forget the Eagles re-signed a lot of their own draft class, so that's also their free agent class. Okay, can't forget that, man. Shut the fuck up with this. I can't stand when I see these reporters sometimes just carrying water for Howie Roseman. Like, what? Like, is the scoop worth it? Because like we can all see the smell the bullshit. Okay, you can't tell me that them re-signing their free agent class is equivalent to us going out there and signing a wide receiver. And riddle me this, Whip. Maybe you saw me on Twitter the other day. Where the receivers at? Huh? How
Yeah.
come we haven't been able to draft or not draft, sign a free agent receiver? What's going on there?
I'm glad you touched on that topic right there. I've been asking that since tampering period. My whole thing was, okay, Howie is going to strike. I'm thinking, all right, cool. You last year was a showcase of what's to come if it's going to remain this way. You get what I'm saying? Like Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, was your only weapon. I mean, Quez did some stuff. Reagor, oh my god.
Oh my god, that's not even
like you as the GM of this team, Howie Roseman. You can't tell me, bro, you didn't see that, man. You would think the start of free agency, I mean, going into free agency for the Philadelphia Eagles was to attack free agency with grabbing your wide receiver, your linebacker, safety, or whatever. Those are the three main positions during free agency right now for the Eagles. I mean, everybody knows this, okay? And I'm saying to myself, I'm seeing all these receivers who was free agents going left and right. I'm saying to myself, where the hell is Howie Roseman? What is this cat doing? All right. And when I seen, and this is gonna make y'all laugh. When I got notification on my phone, I'm like, bet, all right, they did something. Because I wasn't trying to look at social media. When I looked at it, and it said the Eagles re-signed Greg Ward, I took my glasses off, was like what the?
Yo, when I saw they re-signed Greg Ward, I knew what the game was at that point, right? I already knew what it was. And Connor's saying, hey, let's not talk about Greg Ward. He agrees with me. That it ain't it. And Sam is telling me, we can't offer wide receivers enough money to come here because we're a run-heavy team. Like let's look at it.
We just became a run-heavy team.
But let's talk about that. Let's spend a little time talking about that, okay? Because I don't think that the Eagles weren't able to make a splash in free agency because they weren't trying. Their names were tied to a lot of guys out there. They just didn't want to come here. Riddle me that. Why does Russell Wilson not want to come play for Philadelphia with a great line, a great offensive-minded coach?
I know where you're going with this.
I'm just asking questions, okay? I'm just asking questions. I got the right. Okay.
You do.
Why is wide receivers going to all these other poverty level franchises, but not to ours? It reminds me, I mean, let's talk about it. The Baltimore Ravens have a similar problem. They can't sign a good wide receiver to save their lives, right? They have a better drafting record than we do, so they can maybe deal with that in a better way. But when we think about it, and I talked to Connor about this online a couple of days ago, I don't trust Howie Roseman in draft when it comes to wide receivers. You could give me an entire class loaded top to bottom, and I still wouldn't trust him
100%.
to pick a good wide receiver, notwithstanding Devontae Smith. That was a bona fide, you can't miss pick. So I'm not going to give him credit for something that was obvious to everybody on the stage, because the last year when it was obvious to everybody to draft Justin Jefferson, who did we get? Who'd we get with?
Reagor.
Okay. So I'm not gonna, and so I want to see how we make a splash of free agency, because he told us that he is invested in surrounding Jalen Hurts with premier dynamic talent, right? And the last time I checked, the only people left on our free agent list. Let me go to the list so I know exactly who it is that we have available, okay, to be traded. I mean to sign Zach Pascal, Will Fuller, Keenan Cole, Jamison Crowder, Sammy Watkins, Richie James, and Alden Tate. That's who we have left in the second tier market to come play with us. And maybe Robert Woods coming off a torn ACL.
Now, let me tell you something. And I'm pretty sure other Eagle fans just tuning in, watching our podcast agree with this. I would trade for Robert Woods in a heartbeat, snap of a finger. All right. Like, I would do that in a heartbeat. Yes, he's coming off an ACL tear, but by the time the season starts, he'll be ready. You imagine putting Robert Woods with Devontae Smith on the field.
Look at what Sam just said. Okay, Woods just got traded to the Titans for a 6th round pick. Thank you, Sam, keeping us updated. We appreciate you, bro.
Man? Are you
breaking
serious?
News live?
Jesus, jumped up.
See, we have nothing. Nobody wants to play. No wide receiver wants to come play here. What are we going? Like, how does Howie? I'm not even Howie, whatever. But how does Howie get over that?
This breaks right on the podcast. I appreciate you, Sam, for telling me that. This is insane. Like, this is crazy. So before I even go into what I believe, I want you to finish telling us why you think receivers don't want to come here. What is the main purpose why receivers don't want to come here, and from your thoughts on it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to just be real about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jalen Hurts isn't good with accuracy, and he's not good at decision making. And so wide receivers see that. They see all these routes being run by, like, look at Devontae Smith. He's a great route runner. He gets open, but the ball's not being matriculated to him. Why? Because we don't trust Jalen with the ball in his hands. We don't. We became a run-heavy team because when we trusted Jalen with the ball in his hands, it was terrible. It was terrible.
I kind of not agree with that just a tad bit. And what I say with that is, I agree with you with his accuracy is not on, okay? But I don't think he's the reason why wide receivers don't want to come here. Me personally, I think the wide receivers don't want to come here because of Howie Roseman.
No, I
really believe that.
I reject that. And let me. I'm going to interject to tell you why. Okay, because at the end of the day, money talks. We want to say that it's Howie Roseman. Who just re-signed back with the Texans? Everybody says the Texans is a terrible franchise. Nobody likes the people in Texas, and you have wide receivers. They don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And wide receivers will re-sign with the okay. So to me, to hear that it's the front office, that players don't care about the front office. Players don't really care. Sometimes they care one-on-one, but you're a free agent. You just want the cash signing to be right.
You want the bag.
Bread. Exactly. You want to catch your check. And the only way for you to catch a check especially let's say, if your check is ridden with incentives, okay, I got to catch this many touchdowns. I got to catch this many balls. I got to do this many yards. And you have a quarterback or a scheme that's not friendly to that contract, you're just not going to want to play. You're not going to want to play for a team that you don't feel you're going to get many targets. And I think that that's a realistic thing. Not to say that Jalen can't grow, that Jalen can't, ascend beyond what he's shown us so far. We all hope that would be the case. But if you look at the actions of the people in the NFL world and the NFL sphere, they don't believe it to be so. Because if they did, they would trust in the potential that he's shown. And in my opinion, the Eagles wouldn't have been running around trying to find a new QB. Wide receiver, just one wide receiver would have came here. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. To me, we'll see, but to me, you have to trust what everything is telling you.
I mean, you got so let's stay on this topic with Jalen Hurts for a minute.
Okay.
When you had the quarterback, debacle going on with Deshaun Watson and this, that, and the third. This is before he even got traded. You had Eagles fans wanting to bring him here because of Jalen Hurts, and you got it was like it was a civil war on Twitter when it came to Jalen Hurts and wanting to part ways with him. You had some Eagle fans who was like, give him time, let him develop. You had some Eagle fans who were like, no, probably such as yourself, tell them, let's go a different route. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like me personally, you got to also look at Coach Sirianni too. This was his first year, first coaching year to go, with the Eagles that went to the playoffs. So that's a hell of an accomplishment, So, and even though Jalen ain't live up, to the hype after Carson Wentz left, I still think that we should give him time because it's like he's still young. What's this? His second year now? Second year, I believe,
His
right?
third. I
Third,
think it's
third
now
going to his third year. Yeah,
third
like
year in the league.
I think you had some quarterbacks. I mean, let's keep it real. When Peyton Manning first started, he was throwing INTs like nobody's business. He was trash. You get what I'm saying? But the next season and the season after that, people feared him. I mean, me personally, I have been very critical of Jalen, and you know that when when we watch the games. But I think that the young man still need time to grow, and I think now that all the big wigs and that ass jack Tom Brady came back, like all the big wide receivers, quarterbacks is gone. So Deshaun didn't want to come here, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Eagle fans didn't want him to come here. But Jalen is all we got right now. And not only that, he knows the system quite well. So
and I appreciate that. And I think that what you're saying is very true.
Correct,
and Connor even agrees with you. You got an amen from Connor. And so before I completely tell you why you're wrong, I just want to say, no, I'm just joking with you, bro. I agree with you. I agree. A lot of your points make a lot of sense. Okay. But at the same time, and I think I've made my opinion on Jalen very clear that regardless of the potential that we see, I don't know if it's enough to automatically make him a franchise level quarterback. We talk about this idea of giving quarterbacks time and needing them to match rate. And I would agree with you up to a point. And then I look at Joe Burrow, and then I look at Justin Herbert, and then I look at Josh Allen, and I look at all these young I look at Pat Mahomes, who had a very similar situation to Jalen Hurts, and the leap from year 1 to year 2 was just out of control, whether they started or whether they didn't start. And when you look at Jalen and you see what he's been able to do, and it was good, a lot of it was good, but a lot of it came with creating an offense that was very basic, very simple. And coach, which I'm going to go off what coach is looking for, okay? He has 4 things in his mind when he's looking at a QB and trying to decide if they're going to be successful long-term, right? He talks about off-schedule playing. He talked about, dynamicism in the field. He talked about accuracy and decision-making. He says Jalen's got the first 2. I would agree with you. Jalen does have the first 2. He's got off-schedule skill making out the wazoo. He is dynamic, amazingly so. But the 2 things that will make or break a quarterback in today's NFL, not Peyton Manning's NFL, okay, today's NFL, okay, is accuracy and decision making. And that's something that you can't tell me through an entire year you felt like it was comfortable for you to say he's the guy, period. Let's not look for something better. We all wanted Russell Wilson to come here. Okay, we all maybe thought for a second we had a chance at Deshaun Watson, whether or not a lot of different polarizing views with fans about that. We only have Jalen. I want Jalen to succeed, but I also don't want to be unrealistic to what I'm seeing the Eagles do in terms of helping him succeed. How are you helping him succeed with these level of wide receivers that we're bringing back? Is Greg Ward going to help Jalen Hurts succeed? Who's going to what wide receiver can you name me outside of Devontae Smith at this point now?
If you really want to be technical, I hate to say it, this may make you laugh, but Greg Ward is 100 times better than Jalen Reagor ass.
Okay, I'm not even going to hold you on that. But still does not give us somebody that's going to elevate this offense, that's going to
I
give
agree.
Jalen a security blanket, somebody to help him. Where's our veteran wide receiver in that room to steady things up and to give them guys like a solid leadership presence? To me, it just feels like we'll talk about it because our next segment is very heavy on Howie and what we feel like the job that he's doing. But I just feel like there's a lot of like, we're so smart. We're so smart. We're so great. We don't really need to challenge and shake up our process at all. And that terrifies me a little bit because, as you know, the Eagles process tend to be a little bit like terrible.
I agree.
To sum it up.
I agree. So you ready to get into that next subject?
Yeah, let's get into that next one. I was trying to hold on a little bit to see if John would show up, but we'll get right into that next segment, okay? So let's talk about it. Like, let's leave off. Like Sam said, right? Manning had great wide receivers. I think that is the key. Where is the great wide receivers that we can talk about with Jalen to give him a chance? You know?
we traded one away that I believe shouldn't been traded away. So
yeah. There you go. All right. And we got new Taylor over here. Thank you, Taylor, for joining us. They want to talk about Jalen Reagor. We already talked about Jalen Reagor, bro. There's so many shows. We'll come back to it again. It's just sad. That's all we can say. Okay. And Connor, last word, big season for Jalen. Got to give him some weapons. Okay. But let's get into Howie. Okay. I want to talk about this new 3-year extension he got that he basically wrote up and drafted and signed himself. And how you feel he has done under his 10 plus years as GM, chairman, some big title name for the Eagles organization, and what you think he needs to do to sort of show us what is needed and what could be better for the Eagles organization.
First and foremost, I agree with what Tyler just said. Mm-hmm. Yes, he did mess it up.
So Calvin Ridley messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure we saying the right person because Howie tried.
No. I'm going back to the Howie subject. That's what I meant. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. First and foremost, I'm gonna say something that I never thought I would say in my lifetime because I have the platform to do it. Thank you, Howie Roseman, for giving us a Super Bowl in 2017. Yeah. Jesus jumped out Christ, man. I appreciate you for doing it.
Thank you, Howie.
I do. And I wish, man, that you would have attacked free agency like you did that year. Mm. Right, during this free agency period.
Absolutely. What did we get in that free agency? Remind me what?
We got LeGarrette Blount, mm-hmm. Alshon Jeffrey, mm-hmm. Chris Long. Mm-hmm. Who else we got? Come on. It's a lot of other people.
Brandon Brooks.
Yeah, there you go. It goes more. Hold on. Trying to remember. Oh, we got what was the he was a rookie at the time. We drafted him. What's the name? The dude from New Jersey. What's the cat name? Come on, guys. What's his name? He played for Dallas last year.
Vinny Curry?
No, he was the running back. Oh my God.
I know what you're talking about. Corey Clement.
Correct. We had the ultimate team.
Don't forget about LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, I said him first. Mm. I just wish, man, that one Super Bowl celebration, I should say, for you, and you know what I mean, for you is Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie was the end-all be-all in my book. They got so comfortable with it, they're like, you know what? We got it. But guess what, boys? It's a different year, man. Mm-hmm. I want to experience another parade. Thank God I got the experience before I leave this earth. One. And I appreciate that. But here's how I feel about Howie Roseman. It's free agency. Other teams is looking for needs just like you looking for needs. Okay? And they're gonna talk the bag. Okay? And like my partner said, free agents want that bag. Period, point blank. Money talks. When he signed Hassan Reddick, I was happy. I was Connor can tell you that because I was happy as hell. But then let me tell you, you're gonna laugh about this. This is just my opinion. Howie Roseman made it seem like his signing was better than Hassan Reddick's. Breaking news. Howie Roseman signs a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. I was like, are you the fuck serious?
Yo, I didn't even know he signed a deal. I just saw
like,
your text and I was like, of course.
I was like, dude, you could have done that shit after the free agency. It's like in my mind, these cats really believe they are Hollywood. Okay.
That signing got more. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
That signing got more fanfare than when Fletch got released and re-signed.
That's what I'm. This is what I'm building up to. That's what I'm trying to explain. And it's like you signed yourself, or Lori, whatever. You signed yourself to a 3-year deal. Man, I don't give a hoop nanny grandma panties about your ass, bro. You could have did that shit after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Howie Roseman's situation is, dude, he like Sam said, he makes mistakes. He does. Okay.
The Cox is a prime example, but I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna get into that.
No. Go ahead, because I know I've been waiting to talk about that. Go ahead. Why?
Yeah, but just like Sam saying, the restructuring of the contracts, keeping the older guys based on sentiment, right? And look, here my guy John is showing up right on time so that he could give his little, oh well, maybe there's a good reason why we kept him. No, there is no good reason to keep Fletcher Cox, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why, okay? Because we all saw him literally lose a step in the game against the New Orleans Saints 2-3 seasons ago, right? Mm-hmm. And ever since then, he lost his explosiveness. He lost the thing that made him be in the discussion with Aaron Donald for the best D tackle in the history of the game. He ain't it no more, okay? And yet, what did we kept doing? We kept restructuring, pushing that money, pushing that money into the future until that contract got so bloated, they had to cut him to save $18 million against the cap because he's not worth $18 million, right? And okay, then we brought him back on another 1-year deal, which to me is compounding the problem. Why are we bringing him back when that should have just been a clean break? Thank you for your services. We appreciate you. We thank you so much, Fletch. Why? Connor is agreeing with me too. Okay. Fletcher has not been worth the salary for years.
Okay. Let me say something real quick, because John, I know you just came in, brother. Welcome. Let me just say something real quick, and the time is yours, brother.
I appreciate that.
You have to keep in mind, Ophia, Fletcher Cox, even though he has not been himself in the last 2 years, this man's presence alone intimidates other players.
I second that.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is, what's the boy name who was playing with him last year? I mean, last year he was
Hargrave.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hargrave was so dominant, not just because of his skill set alone, it's because of Fletcher Cox.
Say it again.
Because of Fletcher Cox. All right. Regardless of his play went downhill, this man still demands a double team by any means necessary. Okay? And when he get double teamed, that's how Hargrave got to have his play last year. A lot of people is sleeping on that. And I agree with you that his play did go down. But I don't agree with you saying that I'll let him go. I can promise you this, and we'll see this year. If Fletcher Cox would not have been the Eagle this year, we would have been in some shit. Straight like that. Yeah. Time is yours, John.
I'm gonna let John speak on it before I go, and I tell you why you're wrong again. Okay. Again.
Go ahead, John. Do your thing, bro.
Salutations, family. Sorry for the delay. Fletcher his play not really down. Will, you really hit it on the head. He demands a double team just with his presence alone. If you look, team scheme up blocking him the entire game, and it's they make an emphasis to take him out of games. Correct. So I wouldn't say necessarily that he took a step back. I think that teams are game planning for him. They know how disruptive to do this. But I think also he was miscast initially with Gannon trying to figure out what defense and personnel to run at certain times.
I agree.
He's a forever Eagle. That dude will forever, ever be held highly because he was drafted here. He cut his teeth here. He became a Hall of Famer here. I don't think you give up on a guy like that so early. And I think that a part of letting that contract, letting him go was just a formality for the contract because his bonus, the escalators in the bonuses, if that contract would have went on, we would have never been able to get out of that.
Right.
They picked the right time to do it. I think there was mutual interest. I'm sure they had to have discussed this before this month even. I'm sure Howie came to them. I'm sure Howie spoke to his agent and said, that time's coming.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Your contract's a little bloated. We want you here forever. We want you to retire Eagle. We don't care if your play drops off.
I ain't gonna say
they don't care that his play drops off.
I don't agree with that.
No,
they don't care. They're gonna keep that dude here like they're gonna keep Kelsey here.
No, listen, John,
he has the key. Just like Carson got the key to the team, Fletcher Cox.
I agree with you. And I agree with you. And look, Sam brings up a great point that I want to talk about when I talk about why I agree with y'all up to a point. And I still think we should have, again, my feelings on it is that Fletch should have been traded 2 seasons ago. I'm not even basing my feelings off of this whole thing. Before his play declined, because his play his play has been declining. And you know why everybody knows his play has been declining? 2 things. One, they couldn't trade him. They couldn't trade him for nothing. They tried.
Well, he was hurt. He was coming back from an injury.
They tried trading him.
We had no OTAs.
Okay, twice. He couldn't get traded. Okay, 1. And 2, it's true. They couldn't have him at the if Fletcher Cox had been playing the same way that we know Fletcher to play, then they wouldn't have needed to release him and do all this, that, and the third. They would have happily paid him the money in that contract. They released him because they knew that paying him premier $18 million whatever a year for the play that he's been given, which he hasn't cracked. His highest sack total was 8.5 sacks, which
it would have been more than 18 though. That's why they had to cut him. But those escalators in his contract would have bumped it.
My point, John, is that he's not worth that money anymore. He's not worth top DT5 money. But that's what we want to pursue.
I can almost guarantee you let's say if the Eagles would have traded him to the Chargers, he would have got more money that he's making with the Eagles.
I don't agree. Because I do feel like a part of me feels like, look, at the end of the day, he came back on a 1-year deal. Okay, he didn't come back on a 3-year deal, on a 2-year deal. If
it's probably in the works.
I don't agree.
Probably in the works. I'm telling you, they're gonna keep him here.
Y'all are looking at Cox from a perspective and a persona that he's the same guy that still got us 8.5 sacks a couple of seasons ago, and he's not that guy. Yes, I agree with you. He does still demand the same type of respect or that he used to get, but the results aren't the same. He used to demand. Hold on. I want to just build my case. Case. Y'all could tear it down. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, we're not gonna tear it down. Not gonna tear it down.
He used to demand two guards on him, right? Because his disruptiveness was off the charts. And even with him having them 2 men on him, he was still impacting the quarterback. He was still making it. And I'm not saying he doesn't, but he disappeared in way too many games. When the heart and soul Brandon Graham went down, you should have seen more of Fletcher, not less. Yes, I agree that Hargrave benefited from Cox kind of having taken on those double teams and doing all this, but even Hargrave kind of came down. He started off great and he couldn't maintain his consistency. Look at where we ended up. Our defense ended up compared to the rest of the league. Look at how much pressure we got. Look at how much sacks we got. It wasn't good enough. And a large part of that is because we didn't get what we thought we were going to get from Fletcher. For me, my perspective is you do well with a player like basically Zach Ertz. I love Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is great. Zach Ertz still can contribute. He signed a great deal with the
Yeah, he did.
With the Cardinals, right?
He did.
Because he can still contribute.
I agree.
I'm fine with that. If Fletcher Cox could still contribute, but we couldn't pay him because we had somebody waiting in the wings, blah, 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 I'd be fine with that. But that's not the case. We need Fletcher Cox to be better than what he has been, and he just hasn't. He just hasn't.
No.
So that's my 2 cents on it. I feel like when it comes to Howie Roseman in general, he's too sentimental to the wrong players, and that gets him in a lot of trouble. You talked about how Carson had the key to the city and he could do whatever he wanted, and that turned out how it did. Fletcher Cox may be similar to.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So is it fair to say BG still shouldn't be here now?
No, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because with BG, the role that we expect BG to play, he always carries out his assignment. What I expect from Fletcher and what Fletcher gives me is not the same. What I expect from Brandon Graham and what Brandon Graham
I'm talking about the tenure, though. I'm talking about the tenure.
What you mean?
Meaning, like,
he's retired.
Correct. You get what I'm saying? Because check this out. Let's keep it real. Before BG went down, I mean, he was okay, but he wasn't, he wasn't a fair, he did his thing. He did his job.
But that's my point. He knew his role.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, where I'm going with this is, remember, before they signed BG back, he was crying. He's ready to leave. He thought he was going to be gone. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And it goes to what you was just saying, Afia, about Howie Roseman, how he attached himself to certain people. Now,
that's my point. His role was BG didn't get paid to be our D1 end. Fletcher Cox is paid to be our D1 tackle, but he's not.
I agree with you.
Like such.
I agree with you, Sam. He isn't making there where Cox is, though. I agree.
Look, Taylor has the same productivity versus, and that's why they released him to bring him back under a lower number, because they knew they couldn't pay him that money when he hasn't been producing, and he hasn't been producing since he got that toe injury. And I don't know if it's the toe injury. I don't know if it's but he's we're 3 years removed from it now. I don't know if it was the scheme change. He talked about it. He didn't like it, being more comfortable. He started to play better as the year got on. I understand conserving your bodies. I understand that whole understanding how to be a professional athlete. And this,
that's another factor too.
But at the same time, look at what Aaron Donald is giving. Can you tell me realistically that Fletcher Cox and they're still in the same conversation?
No.
Today?
No, they're not. I mean, Aaron Donald was the
best.
Come
on, John.
Yeah, but Aaron Donald has.
Nah, dog.
Come on, John.
John. Don't.
Yeah, Von Miller. He had all them dudes.
And wait. I listen.
Michael
now that you said that, John, I agree with you on that part, because you got to also look at his teammates too, Afia.
Yeah, the demand.
Miller, but bro,
and also the scheme change
through the season. He was Aaron Donald was still doing well even before Von Miller showed up.
One of Fletcher's complaints about switching from Jim Schwartz's defense to Gannon's defense is the gap responsibility he now has. So he can't just get upfield. Now he's responsible for another gap. So sometimes you have to.
That sounds like a lot of excuses.
He can't get upfield. Basically, in this team that they ran, he can't get right upfield. He has to put 2 gaps in case of a cutback.
Right. Let me ask you. Let me just say, how did we go from bashing Howie Roseman to defending re-signing Fletcher Cox?
No.
It made sense.
The bashing going to continue. Goddamn well is going to continue on my part.
I want to get us back on brand. I want to get us back to topic. Get us back on brand. I want kumbaya.
We need help me, Howard. Help me, Howard. Help me, please.
So look. Let me show you the real quickness of it. It's over. Back to Howie. So check this out. When it comes to that weasel, like I said, I hate the fact that he signed himself to a 3-year deal and made it the biggest thing, the biggest free agent signing in Philadelphia. He made it bigger than Reddick, if you ask me. And it's like, dude, I'm watching all these other teams get better, receiver-wise. You know, Juju went over to Kansas City. You know, and here's the thing. You want to know, to me, the only receiver out there that's reliable right now is Jarvis Landry. And guess what? He's going to find his way right back to Cleveland because of that asshole that's over there. So guess what? Unless that little weasel Roseman and his agent been talking, the only way we're going to get a receiver, John, and all you Eagle fans that's tuned in, we're going to have to trade. And guess what? One of those picks is going to be one of the picks that we're going to have to trade away.
No.
You can trade for Robert Woods for a third. I take Robert Woods.
I promise you.
Yo,
Robert
Man
Woods
River.
is nice.
No, wait, John. Wait, I got this. Old Man River, you are late to the game. Robert Woods got traded to the Titans for a 6th-round pick a few hours ago, bro. We started the show off with that. Sorry to break it to you, bro.
Yeah, he going, bro. Yo, you should have seen my face, because look, Sam, the one that broke the news on me.
Yeah, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Lord,
I was up there talking. I was like, yeah, we can get right, and Sam was like, nah, he going. I was like, what?
And besides, he's coming off a torn ACL, and I don't trust our medical staff with players coming off injuries. And Sam brings up a point about how his best years come with Joe. I don't know about that in terms of the draft and this and the third. I just feel like
that Pumphrey pick was Joe Douglas though.
Oh, all the way. Remember him talking about his ankles and his bend flex or something? Whatever.
The only props I'm going to give Howie Roseman is what I did in the beginning of this pod. Thank you for the Super Bowl. That man will never risk
right. And that's my tie-in. The only thing that I say for Howie, no. I'm not even gonna say the only thing. I have a couple of things that I'll say is I'm down for Howie for. Okay, he knows how to rebuild. He's great on the rebuilds, right? Look at all the times that think about it. When he came in from the crater of the chip era. And he came in with all the free agent signings, right? In 2016, 2017, he came in, had all that stuff. We won the Super Bowl based off of him building up to scale. He's good at building teams. He is not good at maintaining teams. That's why I'm worried. That's why I'm concerned. Because his dynamicism comes in his ability to maneuver places. But then when it comes to maintaining his position, he's always just a little bit lacking. And that's why I want him to do better. I think that, they talk about, we have a lot of our fans talking about Joe Douglas. I like the new guy. What's his name?
Andy Weidel?
Andrew Weidel. I think he's a good influence on Howie. I think
he might get poached
a little bit better. No, but you know what? I saw the Steelers are looking into other candidates, so maybe not. Who knows?
Oh yeah, Brandon. What's his last name?
The
Brandon
guy
Brown. Brandon Brown.
Yeah, and the old GM from the Giants got an interview too. What's his name? Jim Reese or Jesse, whatever, the Reese guy or whatever. Who cares? Anyway.
Oh yeah, he's good. He was good. The Giants are anybody that goes there, I feel bad for him.
Yeah. No,
you go there at the end of your career, not the beginning.
Exactly, correct. That's honestly the graveyard of the NFC.
You see Evan Ingram left. He was like Doug Peterson with the Jacksonville.
And that goes back to my point too with money talks. Because the Jaguars aren't exactly that great of a franchise either, but they went over there, they pay big money, and they have a QB. And that's enough for players. Players don't care what's going on in the front office. They just want to know who is throwing them the football, who is passing them the football. And so to me, I am just looking at the things that Howie does, and I'm just finding myself saying it's the same old. He says he's learned. He says he's going to get better. We're supposed to be surrounding Jalen with all this talent. If it's coming from the draft, I'm scared.
Look,
I don't trust him in the draft.
Not just the goddamn offense. Shit.
Okay, let's talk about this. Connor says that he'd give up a 1st-round pick for DK Metcalf and a 2nd and a 3rd for Lockett. Thoughts?
2nd and 3rd for Lockett, yeah. That's steep for DK. We better be getting back picks, high picks, like a 2nd.
DK, listen, let me tell you something. That's actually accurate, old man River. Because think about this. If DK Metcalf is the best receiver over there now because he surpassed Lockett over there, they're going to demand a 1st. So here's the thing. I hate to say it, but yeah, I'll give up a first for DK like instantly. I would. Like you can't sit there and say because guess what? Ain't nobody else here. Fear like there's no.
I
other
know, but I'm sorry. Something about it doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't sit right with me to pay up that much money when we could do. I want to save that first round for next season.
John, listen to this, John. You talking about the Seattle Seahawks? Wait, and it ironic. It's the same team that was on the movie Draft that was trying to swindle you.
Yeah,
right. The same team. So listen to this. You have to know in your mind, they are not going to want nothing else but a first round pick for DK Metcalf. They don't want no second round pick. They're not going to go for that. They're going to want a first. I can promise you that. Okay, we do got 3 first rounders, and that's my whole point, Tyler, is that Howie's not going to keep all 3. I mean, can we all agree to that? He's not going to keep.
But my point is, look, if you trade DK Metcalf for a first round, you got to spend that money to sign him to a contract. I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't stuff. All the power on the sideline and stuff.
Right, to me, I don't know. I just
clockwork orange. With
I'm just not for it. I don't know. Something about it.
You say that now, old man River, because you know damn well if you that thing came up on breaking news, you're gonna be the first one to be jumping up and down. Stop it. Cut it out. You know damn well.
You know, there's a couple of great questions out there. Like
you're right. You're right.
Yeah. That Julio Jones is still out there.
Jones. Hard pass.
Okay.
Hard
pass. Odell, would you go Odell?
I'll go Odell.
Emmanuel Sanders is a gamer though.
I'm not really into coming off players with injuries because I don't trust our medical staff.
And guess what? And that's why he's only worth a 5th. Just because of that alone. I ain't gonna give him nothing big. I give him a 5th for Odell. Hands down. Hey, take him. Go ahead.
He's a free agent.
No. I'm just saying if that was the case. You get what I'm saying? But free agency, well, I take him. Yeah. Him and Devontae Smith together, they be some bullies on the field, boy.
Yeah. No, listen, for me, when I'm thinking about it, who do we need? They're trying to turn Quez Watkins into a slot. I like that idea of getting him out into the slot. So that really means that we just need a big body over there to play opposite of Smith. DJ Metcalf maybe automatically solves all our problems, but I don't know if that necessarily solves all of our problems. So that to me is just something where do I really feel like that value? Second, maybe third, maybe a first. It's too steep for me. It's just
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have
too rich for my blood.
What about? So listen, I seen something on Twitter earlier. Somebody made sense of something, and I wanted to bring this up to you guys because I wanted to talk about other people that Howie Roseman need to pick up. I seen this guy say something about the Eagles can possibly trade with the Chargers for Keenan Allen. And I said to myself, damn, that'd be hella interesting, man.
Oh, now you can talk to me about Keenan Allen.
Now, when he said that, I replied like I just put the emoji like like that's a good ass pick. I mean, Trey, imagine that, man. I would love that all day, every day. Yep. Only thing is like you going, like I was saying, you can set up your offense. That's cool. The problem with Howie Roseman to me is this dude is allergic to linebackers for some strange reason. And I don't know what it is, Afia and John, but you have, to me, in my opinion, the best middle linebacker in the NFL today, besides the rookie who just, spazzing in Dallas. You have Bobby Wagner out there. And you telling me you couldn't put Bobby Wagner with Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham? Imagine that. Dude, I need to make sense of this. I need you Eagle fans to tell me as well. Why isn't Howie Roseman trying to contact this man? I need a logical.
Well, now listen, guys. If you hear the media, they're telling us, well, remember the Eagles already spent a large chunk of their cap re-signing their own guys. We got Malata, we got Goddard, okay, we got Hurts. Like, that's why we haven't put out for any of these bigger names. But you know what though? At the same time, I just saw today that we restructured
I was about to say
Slay's
that.
contract,
Just about
right?
to say that.
To add like $11 million into the cap.
Mhm.
Now, could that be for a Wagner? Could that be for a Tyrann Mathieu?
Honey Badger.
One could only hope. Okay.
Honey Badger.
But again, we always have to understand that at the end of this Howie Roseman show, we're living in the world he's running. Okay.
I don't want to live in it no more. I want out of it.
I know me either, but we got 3 more years because he will serve every ounce of that extension.
I put out a tweet a couple of days ago. I wanted to put this out there, and some of you guys will probably remember.
You're damn right, Sam.
Laugh. I put out a thing, and I was saying 3 years of Howie Roseman, man, and talking about Howie Roseman. You know how many people came at my neck about protecting that dude? I was like, "Are you serious, bro?"
Told you gotta protect your neck,
bro. Yeah. I'm gonna let you have that last word on Howie before we get to the ads.
Yeah, I'm done. I just wanted to put that out there. I put that tweet out there, and people was on my neck, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, "Are y'all serious?"
Because of the great job he's done with the cap.
Yeah, exactly, right? Everything that he has to do, all the massaging every time. And I think, you see a lot of tweets out there, and they say,
yes,
you're not necessarily a cap wizard just because you push money into the future. That doesn't make you a cap wizard. A cap wizard is a person who doesn't have to do stuff like that, who can make sure that their moves are such that they're always healthy, and I just think at the end of the day, Howie is who Howie is. We get what we get, and we just have to hope one day the owner will see the truth, the light of day.
Hey, Tyler, real quick. Imagine that. Not only would it be awesome, but TJ Edwards' game would go rocket the hell up just because of Bobby Wagner being on the field with him alone. He would demand so much. Like, because their minds would be set on Bobby Wagner, TJ Edwards, and open it up. Oh my God!
Then you have Hassan Reddick coming from anywhere like a missile.
Yeah, hybrid, man. That's what I'm saying. Please listen. If anybody out there, I'm reaching my hand out to you. Okay, if anybody know Howie Roseman, anybody, please, somebody tell this man, just please. Go get Bobby Wagner, man. I beg of you. All the words I ever said to you, I would take back. I mean it. I really mean it. Until you let him go, then we can I just want Bobby Wagner here, man. Jesus, him or the Honey Badger. Oh my God, yo.
Oh, that would be so excellent.
I favored Bobby Wagner when he was coming out of Utah State. I was like, this dude's gonna be nasty. Yeah, what's he done? Like,
that dude,
one of the best defensive players of all time.
What?
Oh, yeah. Our defense would immediately improve.
Fingers is crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right, now let's go to the ads. All right, college basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. If they win, you win. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still join the College Hoops Acts with DraftKings Pools. Anyone can play free pools all March long for a shot of a share of $250,000 in prizes. Simply join a pool and answer questions like who will make it to the next round and who will hit the most three-pointers, and then track your results. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TPPN. You see it scrolling down the screen. You bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. And if they win, you win. Make sure you use that promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older, restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right. Please make sure you download DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code. Help us out there. Okay, we have some very interesting comments here. A lot of us, we're talking about the need for a linebacker, how we see in Bobby Wagner, and so on and so forth. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the wider NFL, some of the news that's gone down in the wider NFL. You guys may know what I'm referencing. Obviously, Deshaun Watson to the Browns. I really want to spend some time kind of talking about this whole thing, but before we do talk about it from a football perspective, I want to talk about it from a human perspective. And I just want to say that my heart, sympathy, and condolences go out to all the women who came forward to express some concern about Deshaun Watson's conduct, and who may feel by everything that has happened since they have come forward that they haven't been heard, they haven't been seen, their allegations haven't been taken seriously, and now this man has just been rewarded with the most guaranteed money in the entire NFL. And what does that say about what the NFL thinks about women? So I just want to say, from woman to woman, I see you, I hear you, and I'm so sorry that you maybe aren't in the best space right now, because this is a real serious topics that we're talking about, and we sometimes forget about that when we only think about the player and not the person. And before we get to talking about Deshaun Watson, the player, I just had to take a moment to think about and talk about how Deshaun Watson, the person, is under some severe allegations that have to be mentioned and cannot be ignored. So just my heart goes out to everybody.
I agree with you on that.
I agree with you. Thank you so much for that.
To counter real quick, no, I would not bring in Patrick Peterson, but we'll talk about that later. But to dive into the Deshaun Watson situation, he's a dynamic player, man. Okay, like before all this stuff went down, when he was clearly in the top 10, top 5, if you want to. The dude is dynamic. I think any team in the National Football League would love to, have his services. Please believe that. As far as Deshaun Watson, the human being, I don't ride with the dude. I don't get down with him. The allegations alone is sickening, and it's just something I don't get down with. But at the end of the day, and I agree with you, Afia, 100%. We have to answer to, it's all political if you really want to go there. That's what it really is about. And it's like, if a judge say something, this is what it is. Me personally, I think the dude did something, but I guess, the powers that be didn't agree with it. But, he still has, I think he got another.
He has civil suits.
Yeah, so that's still going on. So, you paid this guy all this money, you still got to also answer to Roger Goodell.
NFL conduct.
Correct.
6 games.
So
6 games.
It's a lot that's going on. I guess the Browns is like, you know what, we can take 6 games. They just went here and signed Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I want to actually talk about that.
They did that just because of that, and I think they know that he's going to miss 6 games. But
bringing up a great point. Okay, they talked about his contract, right? I mentioned that he got the most guaranteed money. He's getting 5 years, fully guaranteed, $240 million. His first year salary for this year is less than $10 million. So they structure, and you know how most contracts, if you are suspended, all your guarantees are voided. Apparently, people are hearing that he's protected against that in his contract. So they wrote a contract out for him. The Browns did, understanding his legal, hurdles that he has to still cross, and sort of basically inoculated him from any consequences that the NFL can really give him, financially, because he's only going to make less than 10 million this year. So if he's suspended and he doesn't play, he's not really losing anything. He didn't lose any money. So I definitely think that the Browns took into consideration everything that's going on and still decided that the product that he brought to the field was worth the $240 million that they're gonna pay him over 5 years, no matter what, which is out of this world, out of insane. And Taylor brings up an interesting point. Okay, not to say that we want to necessarily get into the whole legal situation, but But maybe as a matter of course, we as fans, as a public, need to know if this man is capable of such things. And I do think that there is a lot to be said about the possibility that he is. And what does that say about the NFL that we allow people like that to exist? I think when there's no video evidence, the NFL prefers to just sweep it under the rug. I don't know. What do you think, John?
I agree, because look at what happened in Dallas. They had to pay they had to pay all that money for that dude videotaping the cheerleaders. Like
right. And
I
Sam
think
talks
it's
about
in
a
some
great
place.
point.
I think it's. I'm glad the saga's over, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't see how it's gonna work there. That's it's a weird spot. That's a lot of money to lock into one player that's going through a lot of things at this current moment. Like,
and as far as I can see, has never expressed any amount of remorse or any amount of like contrition for his behaviors, or have been in any way, shape, or form accountable. And from all accountings, it's all been, oh, this is all smears. These are all false allegations. None of this is real. But I mean, why put yourself in a situation where you're trying to have massage bookings with so many different women during a pandemic? You know what I mean? Just on the base bare, if I was to just believe you, just bare minimum of the story he's trying to tell, it's still odd and creepy and not at all what I would want from the base of my franchise.
Very creepy. Very creepy.
Just very creepy behavior. Why are you trying to have consensual relations with a professional who's trying to work on you so you can maintain your status in your sport? Yeah. To me, that doesn't speak to a mind that's very clear, you know?
So, real quick, Sam, you said the big problem, the NFL suspended Ridley 1 year for gambling, and Watson might get 6 games. Disgusting. I agree with you 100.
I agree.
If I am Calvin Ridley's agent, I am fighting that to the end. My whole thing of it is, it's cool for NFL players to beat up on women, or in elevators and do what they do, do drugs and stuff and rape women and get 6 games banned or 2 games banned, but
never question the integrity of our sport.
Yeah, like
don't question whether we cheated on games.
Like, because guess what? If I'm Calvin Ridley, I'm like, listen, man, you need to fight this, because the Eagles, if the reports was true, the Eagles was trying to trade him. Duh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
And Taylor's bringing up a good point, and Sam too. Like, the NFL has to take a very harsh look at itself, and I think we can see in the way that they handled everything with the Washington football team, and now with going into another investigation into Dan Snyder's conduct, and how they want him to sell the team, but the NFL is not trying to force him. The NBA could force owners to sell their team. We all saw that happen, right?
Donald Sterling.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking about, John. Thank you. But we're not seeing that same type of push and behavior from the NFL, especially when it comes to these serious allegations regarding women. And so when you hear the NFL say, "Oh, we want to incorporate more women into our league. We want to make women, bigger fans. We want to make sure you understand that this is a place for you." It rings hollow. It rings very, very, very hollow when you can see that they honestly don't care if there's no video evidence, if they don't have tangible proof, right? As long as it's a he said, she said situation, they'll always just lean towards what he said, because he's the player that they want to make money off of. And I just think that that is a very terrible way to show fans that you actually care about the product that you're putting on the field. If you really cared about the integrity of the game, you would never allow someone like Deshaun Watson or Ben Roethlisberger, or let's talk about Adrian Peterson, Jameis Watson, any of the men that have had serious allegations put on their name and didn't do their time. So I'm not talking about Michael Vick, who had a serious allegation, went to jail, did his time, expressed remorse, and got a second chance. I'm not talking about individuals like that. I'm talking about those who don't get any type of accountability and they still go on and make money in the NFL. It's a terrible message.
Very good point. I agree. And now that we touched on that part of the Deshaun Watson era, let's talk about the player in Cleveland. I think Cleveland Browns are going to be dangerous.
Talk about the whole AFC.
Listen, the whole AFC, but like if they happen to find a way, and I hope they don't, and I hope my Eagles do it, if they happen to find a way to get Jarvis Landry back there with Amari Cooper, and now you got Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, my God, you already got the backs you need, man. Mm-hmm. And if Kareem Hunt happened to sign back there, listen to me, man. I am here to tell you right now, okay? The Browns will be what the Bengals were this year. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're going to be tough. Mm-hmm. Okay, that young man got a chip on his shoulder with all this stuff going on with the courts and all that. If he happens to play, and if he don't get the 6-game thing, but that team is going to be dangerous. The AFC conference alone has the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Like the AFC is going to destroy the ratings and the television ratings in the NFL just because of the quarterbacks alone.
I'm thinking about that division alone, that division has Deshaun, Lamar, and Joe Burrow, right?
He's right. Yeah. Deshaun and Lamar 2 times a year. Do y'all listen, man? Oh my God. I need football season to get here now. I need September.
Right? It's just insane.
All right, like seriously, like, oh my, you have no idea. Like I'm fiending for it. Like, and not to get off the Deshaun Watson thing, that ass Holio came back, that Tom Brady, and I wish he never. I think the dude is selfish. I think he's selfish. And
who called it?
Yeah, you did.
You did.
I said that he's not retired. No, I said there's no way.
You did. And I'm saying to myself, this assholio back again. Like, I'm like, dude, let these kids experience what you experienced, bro. Let them play. You don't have nothing else to prove, my man. Leave. Like, I'm telling you, Afia would tell you guys, she knows me a lot. When I say I hate Tom Brady, I hate him. I hate him.
Super Bowl 52, baby.
Yes, I hate that man with a passion. Like
Super Bowl 52.
Dude, just leave, bro. Like, you don't have nothing else to prove. Let Patrick Mahomes and them and all them other young boys, let them be the new generation. You've been there. You succeeded more than the quarterbacks that played in your era. Leave the goddamn game, bro. And listen, I'm gonna let y'all go back to this. I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, and I would never wish harm on God's children at all. But when you playing a sport like football, I hope on everything I stand for that somebody put that motherfucker out for the whole year to where he just be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going in retirement. I don't want him not that, to be hurt forever, but I want him out for the season to where he won't come back.
But what can I just put this out there just real quick? He had like a knee injury 2 seasons ago and he played with it. So I feel like when he gets injured, he gets mad, and that makes him even more determined to play.
I
remember when he wore the glove. Remember he hurt his.
I remember that.
He wore the glove.
Listen, honestly, I think the only thing that will get Tom Brady to leave forever and be done is we have to just let him win one more ring. No. We have to yes, I'm serious. We have to let him win one more ring, okay? So we can have 9 championships, okay? 9 championships.
He said he wanted to be the greatest of all time.
He already did say
that. Okay. Or maybe he wants to get to that magic number 10 or something, and then we can get the hell out of here.
I just want somebody to end this fucker, yo. And I'm not being rude. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. But they gotta end him. Okay? Giselle need to take him, put on a sexy wardrobe or some shit, lower his ass back. Get him out of there, man. Back. Somebody got to do something, dude.
Listen, like he said, he didn't want to be sitting on the couch in the fall and looking and thinking, wow, I'm better than all these guys. And when you have that type of mentality, who could tell you no? Who could tell you?
Guess what? You know who could tell him no? Roger Goodell and them be like, look, man, here, take this. This is your bread. We thank you for your services, but it's over.
Tom Brady is the biggest draw they have. They are probably so blessed and so happy he decided to come back. Like, let's get real. It's a business. He makes them a lot of money. and they are inclined to keep that money bags rolling. Okay, and really, let me get in my 2 cents to kind of cap off this idea of like the Deshaun Watson to the Browns. I think as a player, Whip, you're 100% correct. He brings the Browns have now finally solidified themselves as legitimate playoff contenders. Like, you don't have to talk about, oh, the quarterback is handicapping them. No, the quarterback is elevating them to it once he gets past these suspensions, whatever going on there. Once he's on the field, he can elevate them beyond, what they've had in a very long time. I think the Browns have pretty much changed their QBs every single season since before I was even born. Since before I was even a thought in anybody's head. That's a long time. That's more than 30 years. So I'm just thinking about the Browns fans who are hoping to themselves that this will finally end their playoff drought, that they'll finally be able to go do something, and I hope that it gives them everything that they want. I think big picture, it just goes to show you that teams sell out when you know that you're in the position to strike hot. You sell out. Look at the Rams. Okay, they knew that they were a quarterback away, and they did what they needed to do, and they spent the money. They didn't care that it cost all those first round picks. The Rams don't even have any picks in the draft, and nobody comes and sell them buckets because they have a Super Bowl to show for it, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at the damned the Browns, with all they put in $240 million, okay, so that they could have a chance at the AFC. And I just go to Taylor's point. We have a chance in the NFC. The NFC is wide open. Name me a quarterback not named Tom Brady in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
And I just don't see
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers. But I don't playoff Aaron Rodgers, please. Regular season Aaron Rodgers, yes. Playoff Aaron Rodgers, please. Please. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with you. I hate that.
And so that's two old aging dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me tells me that this landscape is wide open, and this should be the time where we're striking the hottest as an organization, and yet we're still signing these second mid-tier players, hoping that they become great, but knowing that the chances are likely that they're not, because if they were going to become great, their teams wouldn't have let them go in the first place.
Yeah, you're right.
What if Jalen goes out this year and balls out? Do you think he'll be the quarterback going forward? Would you give him another year? Would you give him?
Yes, but this is what they're looking for, right? They want Jalen to succeed. I just don't know if they're going to be giving him the tools to succeed. If they run it back with the same old group and a bunch of rookies, that's not that they're setting him up for failure. So to me, it's like, why am I investing in Jalen when they're not investing in Jalen?
I have a good feeling they're going to invest in the right. I think Howard's going to get this draft right. I think I don't know. This draft is like too like abundant with like good talent top to bottom receivers.
Hell with the draft. I mean, hell with the draft. What about the free agency that's right now?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
we already know. Like, to me, just be like, we could take care of it through the draft is hubris.
No,
it's
I
pride.
get it. I get it.
It's gonna be the draft.
Like, touch on right now. How about making your offense better right now? Give him that veteran presence that he asked for.
They won't pay.
Devontae Smith even asked for it. Y'all seen that?
Yeah.
Like, get it to him. Like, dude, if you need to trade somebody, listen, dude, trade for Keenan Allen if you have to. Shit, do it. Make it happen. You know? And I'm just looking, guys, that not only was Woods traded to the Titans, but they only gave up a 6 for him. A 6 in 2023. I'm like, are you serious, yo? You could have got this dude for a 6th-round pick. Come on, Howie Roseman, man. You
right.
do.
But again, that goes back to my point that I was trying to tell you with maybe players don't want to come here. You can't make them want to come here. You can't.
Fact.
So, I don't know.
I hate to say it, man, but you might be right.
We got lucky with Hassan Reddick that he's homebred and like
Hassan Reddick wanted to come here, and you can't say that for any of these other guys. I don't know. And to me, it's weird because you would think that we have the ingredients to be a premier. That wasn't the case a couple of seasons ago. Howie's been here for a really, really, really long time. If it was Howie Roseman, we would have players not want to come here for a really long time. That's not the case. This is new. This is a new thing that players don't want to come here. So why? Why is that? I'm just gonna leave y'all with that. Riddle me that, okay? I actually
They saw what happened with the Carson Wentz thing. They saw what happened with the Carson Wentz saga, and that probably left a little.
But even with that, they gave Carson what he wanted. Carson wanted to be traded, and they traded him. So,
but it also shows Howie. It shows Howie and Jeff in a different light that maybe players aren't like accustomed to and want to jump into.
But that bag speak to homie.
Exactly. Where money talks, and to me, John, you heard the reputation for Jeff Lurie is that he is a very player friendly coach. He likes being liked by the players. Owner. He likes being liked by the players. He likes being able to talk to them. He called Jason Peters his best friend, right? Right. So to me, it just doesn't pass the smell test to say that players don't like our organization. We are, from all accounts, the type of organizations players want to play for. We're very player friendly. Sirianni's a player friendly coach. We have a lot of infrastructure that should bode well, but if maybe we don't have the talent that they think gonna make them successful, thank you, Tyler. Okay, they don't want to come here because we're run heavy, and they know they're not gonna get their reps. A lot of these deals these days are very incentive ridden. Okay, they know they're not gonna reach their benchmarks.
And I agree with what Tyler just said, but at the same time, money talks, man. It does, And
well, what did we make it $11 million space for? What?
Say that again.
Let me ask. What do you think? We just cleared $11 million in space, so we have the cap.
Yep.
Honey Badger. Honey Badger. That's who that's for. He better come here. Yo, I after this podcast is over, I want to go upstairs and enjoy me a movie. I'm gonna go to sleep. I want to wake up in the morning or overnight that breaking news that Philadelphia signed, the Honey Badger. And I will go crazy early in the morning. I just want to see that. If you cleared that space, it's for something, damn it. Okay?
Yeah.
It's for something. Now, and it also might be for the boy Bobby Wag too.
Mm-hmm.
Too. Now, it's either for Bobby Wagner, the Honey Badger, a possible trade with a number one receiver in another team, or it's for Jarvis Landry. It's for out of those four things I just said. It's out of those four. There can't be no other reason.
All right. I'm gonna hold you on that. I'm gonna let you have that one, okay? And now our last segment before we get out of here, we're gonna talk about our Sixers. I got my boy John wearing the jersey, just showing out right now. So let's talk about it. Number 21, Mr. MVP. Okay, how did our team do last night? And what do you guys feel like are the Sixers' chances are now that we're finishing up with the regular season and we're heading into the playoffs?
Well, I'm glad you touched on this to make this the last topic. They did great yesterday against the Mavericks. It's like for some apparent reason the Sixers got Luka number. And I'm starting to notice that. And I'm like, yo, what do they be doing to this dude that make him, not spaz out like he doing everybody else? But it was a great team win, and I want to say this something real quick. Let's get off the big guy for a minute who's having the MVP season, okay? I seen a lot of Sixers fans on Twitter yesterday dogging Harden. And I'm saying to myself, are y'all idiots or something, man? This is James Harden, okay? One of the 75th best players in the National Basketball Association.
Of all time.
Correct. And I'm saying to myself, this man is James Harden, okay? I'm seeing people saying, no, he's starting off slow. He's a shell of his former self. No. He hasn't been here that long. The man still don't know the playbook quite well. Give that man time. I'm here to tell y'all right now. When the playoffs start, y'all gonna see a whole different James Harden. You're gonna see a whole different Embiid. Like, and look, and who's coming along all of a sudden? Tobias Harris at the right time. At the right damn time. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is, chill out with the James Harden slander, yo. Y'all gotta relax, man. Get that cat time, okay? And look, he ain't never, ever played with a center like Joel Embiid. Nope. Never.
Facts.
Okay? And Joel Embiid, see my preaching voice, Joel Embiid ain't never played with a guard like James Harden. So the two go together like peanut butter and jelly, baby. Mm-hmm. Give it time. That's all I got to say on it.
It's like putting steak in a crock pot and letting it cook and letting it simmer. You gotta. Facts. It was only Harden's 10th game with the team.
Facts.
It was the best. The game against the Mavericks was the best game beginning to end, because they'll get up in games and look like they'll beat everybody, and then as soon as they take the starters out, the lead is eviscerated. Mm-hmm. They actually played complete. And you know why on offense? They went back to the pick and roll. The pick and roll game with Joel and Harden, and then Harden making that extra pass to the guy in the wing. And that's the recipe. That's the recipe.
And not to cut you off, Rebel without a cause. More worried about the bench night in and night out. I agree. 100%. Imagine if we had a bench that when Embiid and Joel can go out together, because if you notice, they don't go out together as much because they gotta keep bone. Imagine if we had a bench like that. Do you know how deadly the Sixers would be, man?
That's true.
Like, think about that. Like, this is why, man, as much as I am glad that that James Harden is here, I miss Curry, man, and I miss Drummond. Dude, you have no idea. Like, let me tell you something. As much as we hate Ben Simmons, and we all can agree on that, he's sitting in the best position there is. The Nets team is going to be dangerous. Dangerous. You can do that face all you want, old man River. You have no idea.
I'm not sold.
I'm trying to explain to you, dog.
Me either, John. I'm not sold.
You don't have to be sold. Their bench is 100 times better than ours, though, brother.
That part is true.
That's what I'm talking about.
That part's true, but we're still better than them.
I ain't talking. I'm talking about the bench. Okay.
They get more productivity out of the bench. Like, our bench will come in.
Our bench is trash, and we have a coach who refuses to play two potential starters on that team, and he refuses to not play. But you keep putting old man Jordan there, and you keep putting what's the name in there.
And Jordan's not giving us what we thought he was going to give us either. DeAndre Jordan.
You got the MVP of the G League on your team, dog.
B-Ball Paul.
Exactly.
Let me say this. I want to jump in on this one, because I think Rebel with a Cause has a great point, and I also think Sam had a great point, is that the two biggest things hamstringing us as we kind of go into the playoffs is not our starters and their chemistry together. It's our bench play when they're not on the court, and Doc's rotations. Okay, those are the two biggest liabilities to the Sixers being able to be great come playoff time, because Doc is terrible. He doesn't want to let the young guys play. Sam wants to let the young guys play. He don't want to. He continues to stick with players that are past their prime, or players that can't do the job or the role that's being asked of him. Sometimes when I see him between breaks, I'm not saying that Doc's not coaching, but I see the players giving more intensity in their instructions to the players than Doc is. Like, I just sometimes get a little bit concerned about him just maybe resting on his laurels, resting on the things that he did in the past, versus, like, if we're going off what have you done for me lately, he's not a great coach.
Hell no, he ain't no goddamn great coach.
He looks like
hell no.
He's like that grandfather that comes out when to give instruction, and then he walk back, and then that's all he does. Like, he'll give you a play to go sit down, and then stuff goes wrong, and that's it. He's like, stuff is just going wrong around him. He's like, let it be.
Did you ever see him walking on the court the other day, right?
Yeah.
Like,
man.
right? It looked like a Gargamel without the goddamn cane. I'm like, damn, dude,
oh my god,
down, bro.
Maybe he had the gout. Maybe
he had something. He had something.
Yeah,
but
and I just think the Sixers are doing great. Like you said, that game against the Mavericks was a heat check game, especially because we came out weak against the Heat. That game I was at, we didn't do well, and we didn't play well against the Nets. So we had two big games that we really kind of played poorly in. So this was the next test to really see, are we really ready? Are we really championship ready? And we definitely showed out very, very well. And I think the best thing about it was that what you kind of hear from the players when they're talking is that they're challenging each other. They're trying to make each other better, and nobody's backing off. Nobody's getting offended. Nobody's getting defensive when they're saying, hey, I need more. I want more, to quote Kobe, right? I need more, and
you say
more, right? And they're delivering on that. And that is what's more exciting to see. Not even like the individual wins and losses, but them delivering on the promise of like what talked about, the chemistry, right? The ability for them to kind of understand. And once Joel and Harden get their 2-man game really cooking, with the way James Harden likes to facilitate that ball, it's the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
The pick and roll offense.
Don't let them get comfortable right before the playoffs start.
Heavy pick and roll. We can't be as dependent on the perimeter shooting too. We gotta, I don't know, hit some mid-range shots.
I'm glad you said that.
We settle for the three too much and like chuck up threes.
What's the deal with Danny Green, yo? Jesus Christ!
Every time down the court, dinosaur. Like there's dinosaurs.
I was watching him like I paused my joint and put it in slow motion. He go up straight and it's like his arm just extend fast, like to make the shot go fast. It's like, dude, what the boy say on next Friday? Look, man, you hitting curves too hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, he hit the court too damn hard. And I'm saying to myself, like, Jesus Christ, bro.
He's pulling up before anybody's even in position to get a rebound.
And this is where you miss Curry at, because that thing was so sweet.
And his mid range, Curry's like one of the only players in the league that I ever see like stay with like at the end of the foul line. Like he really, if you notice, he eats. That's where he eats.
Yeah, it is
right in that inside the 3-point line, the foul line, like that high jumper.
Bread and butter. I agree. That's his bread and butter all day. He don't miss either.
No,
a 15-footer to him ain't shit.
No. And I was like you said, Whip, I was sad when he got traded. I really wish he had, and like they didn't need another shooter to me to take Ben off our hands. So I was a little upset when he got traded, but it is what it is. I do think that, and you know what's so crazy is that these are the best games to get the young guys experience, because if you wait into the playoffs to put them in, they're going to drown under the expectations of it. Put them in some of these late games now, have them get a little bit of flavor, get a little bit of confidence in themselves, and then let them ball out. It definitely just speaks to the fact that Doc is stubborn and hard-headed, and that may come back to really haunt us come playoff time.
You know what really disappoints me though with the bench? Shake Milton.
Yeah.
Why is he not shooting? John? Shake Milton. Remember last year when Shake Milton will give you like 18 points? There was like 3 games where he was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be a good bench piece going forward. He could be the 7th, 8th man off the bench. I think he scored like 26 points.
I think
Bucks.
That's Doc, man. I think that's Doc, yo. That's coaching, bro. That's coaching.
He's not even shooting. He has the little reach around, the float, the extended layup, and then nobody can block, and he gets fouled. And the little scoop, his scoop game is nice. He's not shooting, and that's what we're missing. Korkmaz is. He's chucking up threes too, but Shake is the one, because Maxey clearly took advantage of the opportunity. Clearly.
Well, maybe what happened to Shake? Ankle injury. He did come into the season with that ankle injury that might have slowed him down a lot. Maybe he still doesn't have that much trust in his feet.
Speaking of trust, how about Doc need to trust B-Ball Paul and that basket dude? Am I saying his last name Bassey, right? Bussy?
Yeah, Charles Bassey. Yeah.
Like, dude, let them cats ball, bro. Let them play. Like, let them cats develop, man. Like, listen, Doc Rivers is by far the most stubbornest coach I've ever met in my life. He refuses to play young talent.
Yeah.
All right, it was on a record of him saying that before.
Yeah.
He refuses to play young talent over veteran players, and I don't understand. Yep. Like, I just don't get it. Listen, you got Paul Millsap that looked like Homer Simpson, just with black skin on the court, and I don't understand it. And I'm saying to myself, like, bro, like, dude, let these cats play. And I know Paul Reed and was like, yo, you got to be the most stupidest motherfucker on this earth, man. And you got me on this bench, and I ain't doing nothing. Like, remember that time when we played the Knicks, man, and when Julius Randle was spazzing out, he was spazzing on us, man. Nobody couldn't do nothing with him. You want to know who would have accepted that challenge, yo? Paul Reed. Easily.
And
I'm like, yo, he would have accepted that challenge, man. They around the same height. Let the bull ball, dog.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, oh my God, man. His reputation.
Honestly, this is my last season with him. Yeah, if we come to some point in the playoffs and it becomes clear that his decision making is the reason why we lost that game, I'm out.
Yeah, he got to go, man.
I'm out on Doc.
I'm with the cat, man.
Yeah.
Him and his hairline ass haircut that he got popping. That's that surgical shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Ain't no man hair going to say like that for every year in out. Like nothing moves. It's the same.
He got the low.
Absolutely. Now that little top fade. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate you, but we need somebody who is dynamic at the end of the day. And I think Brett Brown was stubborn in the same way too, just being inflexible. And again, I think that doesn't bode well for being successful in today's NFL. You have to really be dynamic as a coach and as a player. So until we can get like that on all three levels, like we have a dynamic GM now, we have a dynamic team in the terms of our players and the skill set that they're bringing. Now we just need a dynamic coach. Tie it all in. All right, y'all. That has been another amazingly great episode of Three Birds and a Punt. All right. We want to just let you know we're introducing a new segment. As you can see, rolling down on the bottom. If you have a question, okay, DM us at Three Birds and a Punt on Twitter. And what will happen with what's going on with this new promotion?
So basically, the new segment is like, we decided to add it in, like, it's called Ask Us. Basically, towards the end of our show, we'll pick somebody, from our Twitter account that wanted to ask us a question, and you pick your favorite host to answer your question. And, we'll take our time out before the end of the show and answer your question. And that's about it.
Absolutely. All right. So please, if you want to DM us, include which host. Okay. It could be either me, I'm Afia. You can find me at According to Afia on Twitter. It could be Whip. You can find him at Whipadelphia on Twitter, or my friend John Monroe Jr. on Twitter. All right. Ask us a question. We'd be definitely happy to answer it. All right. We'll be back next week. Fresh new topics, same great faces. Thank you all for joining in.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Exactly. That's right. Please make sure you subscribe and download. The podcast is streaming on Apple, Anchor, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Also, we're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Download this episode. Share it, please. We appreciate you so much. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. And that has been another episode of Three Birds. Go Birds.
Go Birds.